from this kind of union to go back to the same big families, as it were, probably for his own political survival. Definitely, there must be something that he knows that many people may not be seeing. Bwana Fwamba.
For me, I think the president made a good move. It is commendable that is reaching out to other leaders. You know, during campaigns, people have certain slogans or certain narratives that help them to win. But now when it comes to governing, you need to bring everybody on board. You cannot continue with the narrative of having that you're working with hustlers alone or working with the dynasties alone. After elections as a leader, it is right that you put together all Kenyans and work with them, whether they are hustlers, dynasties, or whatever titles they are given. Mm-hmm. So I will encourage the president to continue reaching out. Now that he has promised that he's reaching out, he should reach out to dynasties and also reach out to various hustlers that are not yet accommodated within that government of his. As far as the youth issue is concerned, what Kathy has mentioned, I do not think if there is anything that is so significantly new as far as the youth movement is concerned. Remember, in 2007, was the best time that I ever saw a well-organized youth movement, Vijana Tugutuke, that was being coordinated by Koki Muli and Nyambane, Kajairo, and KJ. They moved around the country to try to mobilize people to register as voters. That was the greatest arrangement among the youth in terms of mobilizing for registration. But unfortunately, what happens in this country is that every youth movement at their own given time think that they're the best. Remember, when we were growing up, we were told that for Martin Shikuku to become prominent as a youth leader, he worked with a Jogo in this town. So at that time, the youth movement was led by Martin Shikuku around 1963. So for us who were born in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I have no idea about that kind of youth movement. Then those of us who were around at that time when we were student leaders, we also think that we were the best at that time. Those ones who are emerging today and organizing demonstrations think that this is it. But now you've seen the registration numbers are not even reflecting the kind of narratives that are being advanced. Something else that I wanted
now, before you move on from that, because you've given a comparison of the youth movements over time.
Yes.
And the issue is that those youth movements have been very consequential in the fight for multi-party democracy.
Yes.
Are you saying that this time around the youth movement may not be as consequential as what we've seen?
No, they were consequential, but they are not working exclusively as youth movements. Like if you look at 1997, NCEC was a conglomeration of different leaders of different levels. There was no labeling that these are youth, these are the old people, these are the retired. We don't have that kind of categorization. And that's where some people have really gone wrong to think that there's something called the youth constituency. Ultimately, when it comes to election decisions, people will be following their leaders. I'm very sure that an average youth in Siaya will follow the Raila Odinga decision. And those ones in Central will maybe follow former President Uhuru Kenyatta or another leader that will emerge. So it is not so homogeneous that the youth of Western will vote the same way the youth of Ukambani will vote. It will depend on the narratives that will be within their localities that will make them make that decision. And that's why you are seeing these registrations of new voters not as exciting in terms of the narratives of we are going to get rid of so-and-so or going to elect so-and-so.
Yes.
So that's why.
The headline seems to suggest that the president has moved on from
I do not
that
think
hustle
so.
And the youth.
I do not think so.
And moved to the
I do not think so. It's a misleading headline, because I think what the president is trying to do is to accommodate everybody to be part of his government. For example, when he's talking about reaching out to President Uhuru Kenyatta or Raila Odinga, he wants to tap on their experience in the interest of the country. Remember, he was talking about turning the country into a first world country. If you compare this country, in as much as it's smaller than China by so many proportions, China was considered a third world country in 1988. Okay? But based on the foundations of Deng Xiaoping, who decided to reorganize China into a modern economy, progressively right now, when you go to Shenzhen right now, you are seeing robotics, you are seeing industrialization in Huangzhou and other cities. China is an industrialized country right now. So a dream is never in vain, especially if someone has a very specific objective. And to the pronunciation of the president, we need to applaud him on the basis of his pronouncements, because those are like his intentions and they should be supported by everybody in the interest of the country, not in the interest of political interests or political expediency that so many politicians want to count as a narrative for them.
But it's very difficult not to see it through the political prism. And after the break, we'll be talking about the hope or the suggestion that the president is not done in going after the big names politically in Kenya. And it could be raiding the united opposition for another big name,